Paying for it, might as well use it.
Yeah, thank you, man.
It's
Awesome.
all good, man. It's after so much frustration and everything else, it might not be as sexy, but it's Zoom.us infidels, through OBS infidels, through Twitch.tv/conspiracy horsemen infidels here early morning. Rise and Shine Thursday, Ultra Kayfabe Declassified, Locker Room, Super Freak, Physique, right, Raphael Sadiq, Baby Love the Ganja Leaf every day of the week, Super Friends Wake Up, Deluxe Gourmet Beats. That's right, we're going to make some real beatings here today, deluxe style infidels, because we're covering all the news from ProWrestling.com. I couldn't take all the goddamn AEW result stuff, but we're going to cut to the meat, get through the fat, and talk about the heat here on your Friday Locker Room. Yalla! Stevie, first locker room of 2020, bud. Welcome back. It still smells like old sweaty balls and red hot in here, man. What's going on?
I actually thought it smelled more like, stench of regret and some video game console plastic.
Well, it definitely doesn't smell like plastic over here because these goddamn 3D printers aren't up and
It's
running.
still not working.
There's one that it's very close, and I think it's just a small fix where I got to tear something apart, connect it, reconnect it, and I'll be good to go. Hopefully, I say that it's everything should be running, and it's just befuddled me. The other one I can't do anything with until this one's working to print the part for the holder for my new hot end. So it's just like, damned if I do, damned if I don't. I'm not going to go to eBay and buy the hot end for the other one for $10 when I can fucking print it. So it's just stubbornness, but
I
frustration
thought putting
abounds.
I thought putting an arcade cabinet together was hard.
When it runs, man, it's the most fulfilling thing. When it's not, it's just sitting there looking at you, mocking you, torturing you. But you know what else is going to be torturous is all these goddamn headlines we got to get through today, man. But before we do that, it was a fun week. We were talking off camera, man. I really enjoyed coming back even during the holidays, after the holidays, the prospects of new business that always gets us excited. New creative opportunities. Last night we had Russian vids on Conspiracy Horsemen, which you know it's a good episode because time flew by in 2 hours. Most of our guests punch in and out in an hour. He was with us through the whole ride, man, and it was an awesome show. It touched on a lot of updated controversial things we've talked about from Sandy Hook, and he's a hardcore flat earther, and we want to hear him out. And I get into some diatribes about religion and being a sheep mentality, and it was just another great esoteric conversation. I thoroughly enjoyed it, man.
This is a great example, and I said it last night to kind of cap off towards the end of the show. Why can't anybody just talk to each other, whether you end up agreeing or disagreeing, instead of starting off with, I'm going to list, like I said, I agree with 99% of what you're saying on whatever subject it is, whoever you're talking to. I'm waiting for the 1% so I can feel smarter than you and debunk you. And that 1% will eliminate any kind of credibility on the other 99%. And then I can walk away with my head high. I can put a Facebook post up, held up high,
Yeah.
that I won some mythical fucking contest that doesn't exist.
I had to go buy yourself a belt after that, take it to the show. Yeah, I did a little bit on that where I did my rant, but I tried to wrap it back around to Master Shoot style on your thing where he tried to come back and I just shut him down. I was like, no, I won the conversation. I'm the winner. Just to show how
He was smart. He was smart, man.
Absolutely.
He was a locker room guy.
Absolutely, man. And I think that's one of the biggest appeals that we've seen so far of that. I think, let's identify our strengths in a SWOT analysis is that's what it is, because everyone has to go on, do the circuits, right? And if it's McAfee getting a 2-minute soundbite or whoever it is, Christopher Joya or whoever, they have to be very precise. Where our show, some shows can go way long, but our show in that 2-hour range is long enough, right? And it feels it in raw length. Excuse me. But when you can get a Dr. David Jonda or a Bill Behrens or McAfee or Russian vids to feel comfortable and let their guard down to be like, dude, we're just having a cup of coffee, a drink of whiskey, a smoke, and a toke or whatever the fuck, and having a open conversation, not just to be like, who's smarter, but like, let's go through all the details that we know and then form our postulate, hypothesis, opinion before we form our thesis and talk it out on both sides. Sides I might not be looking at that theologians and other people are highly dedicated to. And I'm willing to hear that out. And then I'll get my ribs in as an atheist either way. You know, my hitch slaps, hitching styles. I've been watching a lot of hitchings. But I think that's something we have identified, man. We rib about the veteran locker room. It is that kind of mindset, dude. It's not a safe space, but it's an open space.
Yeah, I mean, it's just really refreshing to see that after the weeks of, I mean, we talk to Russo all the time, and he experiences the exact opposite of what we felt last night. And I wish he could have these debates with people, even within the own brand group. I mean, him and Disco go at it sometimes where Disco never listens to what he has to say. You feel that, right?
Yeah,
just
it's tough.
talking and talking and talking, where you can interject your points. And we had talking over each other, but we were still listening and then decided to kind of lay out at the right times. Even if there's 3 seconds of dead air and you're not sure who should talk next, I'd rather have that than just a train wreck with nobody getting over.
Because
if
you're just waiting to get your opinion in, you're not listening to the other person and you're not responding in the moment. And that's really what drives great conversation, where even Bill Savely, who was my guest on Hamin episode 7, sent me a meme, like me listening to podcasts, and it was this kid sitting next to a sign eating an ice cream cone, but the ice cream cone is 3 other little kids listening to something, eating ice cream, and it's like they're friends, but it's almost seamless, you know what I mean? So one's the picture of 3 kids and the kid sitting next to it, and it just says me listening to podcasts. And I know if Bill's out driving Lyft or he's in Chicago doing whatever, it's like we're riding shotgun with him, man. It's like we're right there with Chris Thomas in the UK in the cop car. It's like we're right there down under with Brent Logan and those guys. It's like we're right there in Ohio with Vickery. You know, it's crazy that wherever we are, if you're in that mindset of in the moment, people feel like they're right in the room with you. And when you don't have that, you do feel that kind of, and it's just, I'm not saying people are mailing it in, but that's just something that we have, that we've cultivated. I'm very thankful for it. And I'm very thankful for the chat room this early. See Not Jargo in there up at it doing hardcore work this week with the locker rooms, solo style. I listened to that the other day. Kicked ass there. He did a great job with the football stuff with you, man. So thanks for being here at twitch.tv/Conspiracy Horseman, doing all you do, man. Jay Reezy, Falconator, Twitch. Twitchy retards in there. Okay. Voices of Misery podcast, Jay Reezy, and, appreciate all you guys getting up early and just logging on. Hopefully we can kill a little time together and, get through this self-help group of wrestling headlines together. We had a good time, too, on Russo Brand, you guys. If you didn't sign up at russosbrand.com, you missed the free month, but that doesn't mean you can't spend $3 to get some unbelievable content. Even wasn't Master Shoot. It was Raw and SmackDown review, and I don't even remember what the joke is, but popped Russo so hard that he had to do a walk-off spit take off camera before he spit all over his equipment, and I'm pretty proud of that. I don't even know what the joke was. I just know that I got him.
You got me too, but I forget what it was too.
I know. I got to go back and watch, man. But that's the kind of fun we're having, dude. And I'm very thankful. That's why everyone's 2020 this or 2020 that, or leave a decade behind or look back, dude. Time is irrelevant when you're making great content and great memories in the moment. I'm just looking forward to the next thing every week. I'm not setting up, here we go to do this, and it's just, where can we go? It's a roller coaster ride with our hands in the air, man, and it's a lot of fun right now. I'm not gonna lie.
Give everybody a tip, since workers think they can't get work, but we tend to get work too. I put that thing in the messenger about, if you're writing a check or you're signing anything, do not just put 20 like you would in 19 for the date. Put 2020, because somebody could add us 15, 16, 17, 18 or whatever, and you just signed a contract from 2 years ago, especially if you have to owe money to somebody.
Yeah, so use 2020 and all the checks you write and everything that way, because it is open-ended if you're just using the shorthand 2-0. So good, from Hacker Stevie and Hacker Hamin, protect yourself that way.
Yeah, the year of paranoia, 2020.
There's so much of that 2020 vision shit. I'm just like, oh God.
How's that working out for the Saudis?
Yeah, right. Just hang in there. For sure, man. But yeah, we had a good time there, and it was fun doing Master Shoot again this week. Everybody cranking out great content, new content from MSG, Matt Schaffer, Gage, and South Park, doing review from the very beginning, getting big numbers out of the gate, and here we go with here's another micro demographic. Sure, some might be wrestling crossover, but whether it's what we've talked about for Russo brand or with these outside, micro demos like Star Wars, The Mandalorian that we're doing that way, it's very cool. I'm glad to see him enjoying doing another passion project.
It's great to see people getting outlets of all sort. And I know the Sal jokes about the stay in your lane thing and all that stuff, but it's, I think we're at the forefront of shattering a lot of stereotypes that you really need if you have a YouTube channel, a podcast, both, a blog, anything, that I need to go to this one site or channel for this one thing, and that's why I will subscribe. I believe we can break through that, and the personalities and the human beings are what you want to see cultivate and grow and create. That's what we're hoping for. It's not an easy road because stereotypes pretty much rule this world. People have to be comfortable and look at you and define you as one thing, because that's all they can process. So hopefully we're changing that, because I feel like keeping it all under hackerhamin.podbean.com on the audio side is a good way to do that.
Yeah, we're that's about the only place where, who knows until they do, if they were stooged or notified. But I mean, we pay for the space, so it's not like we're under anybody else's thumb. And maybe YouTube should have done that. Maybe YouTube should have said, if you really want to be unbridled and be in the audio algorithm, you just got to buy your channel space from us for X amount a month, like Podbean does X amount a year. And then maybe I would have a little more respect for them in that respect. But, there's so many out there that if you really want to run your free media, you can now. It'll cost you a bit for the space, but if you're hustling, what you get in return should be able to take care of that, and appreciation, because the bits and all that kind of stuff goes to pay for Zoom or web space or Podbean, or the payouts and things like that. So, it's all building in momentum. It almost is like, I can't remember the movie or series on Netflix, but like they explain a nuclear bomb going off, and obviously the first thing is this division of or split of atom or collision of atom, and from there it explodes, and then it's a chain reaction of explosions in a millisecond that make that reaction. And I feel like we're maybe at the third or fourth level out from the nucleus of like, all right, we're getting some reach. How do we get that out to, the big level? How do we get, what's the next, every time it makes a bigger ring outside, it's a little harder to do, because we want qualified, loyal people and loyal listeners. And I know they're out there. It's just about notifying them. And whether that's a street team, tweet team, some extra like push in the Reddit, things like that. Some things we're just not dropping the ball on, that we just need to address in 2020. That is where does it really catch fire? That's what I'm saying. Because the inner core is there. I think the community is definitely built in there.
It takes a John McAfee or somebody with power and influence and money to be a mark for us. Let's be honest.
Mm-hmm. I'm trying. I pop him like once a month.
Oh, no. I mean, it might not be him, because he could turn heel on us real quick, too.
Yeah, sure.
And then we got to be on the run.
Yeah. But if he does come back to America and he does even a publicity stunt with running for president, we should definitely be there. I think is security.
Can you imagine if we were like one of the first ones to interview him after he announced it, or if he announced he's running for president on the Horseman?
Yeah. Yeah, man.
That's a real possibility.
Highly possible. I could reach out to her. And she definitely put it over.
We'll be waking up in our cars at 2 a.m. with cop lights behind us.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, all right, really, are they going to be able to carry Sal out the front door? Like me, like me, Tyler's small. You could drug him. Like if you're gonna take me out of bed, you better bring 3 big motherfuckers. It's gonna be tough making the corner down up the stairs to get to the elevator to go. Like it's gonna be a lot, dude. So,
We know how to dead ass. We're pretty good at that.
I could sandbag like a motherfucker if I need to.
Also, I'm thinking about calling. I'm thinking about stooging him off after you're so mean to me last night on the Horseman about my arcade cabinet. I'm thinking there might be some mattresses coming to his house.
Yeah, man. That'd be good. That would be good. Oh, dude. So we had a good time, man, talking about Tyler from Secure Team and all that. So that's our catch up. Anything else you want to talk about, man? Stevie Fitness 2020 kickoff. Obviously, one of the busiest weeks for you. Inviting new members or former members getting restoked to like pick up the bands again and, you know, just be making a healthier choice out there. So I'm sure you got a lot on your digital plate this month.
Well, I hope so. And this month on the YouTube channel, you know I kind of go around with the moon videos and all that stuff. This month will be dedicated to all health, fitness, wellness, nutrition videos as far as updated reviews. Like I'm going to update the standing desk adapter I have here with my standing desk setup. I'm going to do updated on the home gym equipment, different sides while promoting the affiliate links, which have been pretty successful over the past couple months. What else? I forget what I was going to say now. Oh, I'm going to talk about CT.
You were just saying a full month of health you were dedicating to on the channel.
Well, what I want to let everybody know, and I'm hoping people within the Facebook group, which was started by the clients, by the way, in the beginning, Triple D and all them people started that closed Facebook group. There's people that came around and said, I fell off this and that, and said, hey, could you send me the link again? So after a year, after 2 years, I still resend the links. I don't recharge people.
Right.
You spend $15 18 months ago and you lose it or you just like can't find it. And if you bought it, I look up your email. I look up your order number according to your email. If it's there, I resend you the link with the bonus videos. So, you know, I can't. People go, hey, why didn't you run a sale? Why didn't you do buy one, get one? Why didn't you do there has to be value in that on top of the fact it's only $15 and $25.
Absolutely.
With personal support.
Absolutely. And self-help groups. And it's just your level of dedication for $15. I mean, as opposed to, let me go get roped into Planet Shit List. And now if I cancel, there's a $60 fee. And then I got to drive there. And it's all, you know, if you're in the Northeast, that's a son of a bitch, you know, based on time. This you do anywhere, anytime. And everyone who's done it has seen crazy results, man.
And also this month too, I'm going to document the rehab on my elbow injury, which thank God isn't torn. But I said, this is a shift in my training modality. I have to go back to the bands. Mm-hmm. Yes, I was lifting weights. Yes, I was doing this and that. But guess what? I got to go back, for me, probably the 16-week program and do it again. These are things I've needed to do throughout my life that are now in PDF form and video form for people to hopefully benefit from. Russo emailed me this morning. Want to get healthy. I want you. Let's lift each other up in 2020. A really great email early in the morning. So
good.
I think all of us between the brand and here in Hamin are on the right page.
I'm going hard for 16 days. And then leave me the hell alone for a week because I'm going to stuff my face, pound liquor, and lay on the beach in the Bahamas, man. So, but I appreciate it, dude. I actually got to say I had to get over obviously the fat guy stuff I deal with all the time. But once I started getting more definition, it was when I was doing Stevie bands. And I'm going to get back to it. I just feel like I got over my hump of Dreamer salami arms. And like once I can get, you know, the definition in each part, like I'm there, and I got the thing removed on Thanksgiving in the bathroom by my surgeon sister-in-law. So I'm feeling good, feeling bigger, but now I really can't wait to kind of add a little more resistance and re-challenge myself. You know that I'm pumped through that, man. So the next 2 weeks are going to be hardcore Hamin as we go at it, man. I got some crazy off-brand pre-workout, dude. It's got to have methamphetamine in it or something, bro. Because I can only
haven't been caught yet.
I can only take half of the little cup, dude. I took 3/4 the first time. Mm-hmm. I thought I was having an out of body experience or something, dude. It was crazy. It's crazy. Available at Rite Aid. Okay. Yeah, man. Sponsored by GetAcreGold.com, you guys. I botched the spot last week and didn't have it right completely. And, it's in the beginning pre-roll, which Ray's done an awesome job with. I love Ray cutting those commercials for us. So thank you to Big Ray. But Get Acre Gold, I look back, we were talking 2.5 ounces. Nah, it's 2.5 grams. Little tiny piece of gold. Pretty much, of what the rate is. They have it at $149 crossed down to $50. You can even invest as low as $30 a month. So you can be having gold shipped to your house, even if it's in small increments. Hey, stockpile it. It's cool. It's all labeled, shiny, excellent. Go check out getacregold.com/horseman. Enough is enough with the Bitcoin. Don't want to hate on McAfee. We've seen these memes like, oh, this guy ordered 30 pizzas 10 years ago with a Bitcoin. And now if he would have, that same Bitcoin he paid 7 with would have been $137,000. Yeah, well, that's imaginary credits money. Gold is a commodity, and getacregold.com/horseman sponsored us. You can go to @get_acre on Twitter, give them a follow, and actually say, hey, Hamin Media Group sent me, and I demand the free gold bar because they're giving away a 2.5 gram gold bar to who they see fit of this sponsorship that they've done with us. So there's no reason why it shouldn't be you, why it shouldn't be me. I went over there and told them, said, give me the goddamn gold. I'm the golden Ayatollah. You will give me my gold, morons. So, we'll see if they come through with it or not. But definitely go to @get_acre_gold and just say, hey, I'm the man. Woo, give me the gold. So, y'all, man, there's some backup. I kind of felt bad at botching the spot on that for it. I thought I understood it, but it's nothing too complex. I just got the copy read wrong. So I said, hey, for value built in, let's give them a month to make sure for the spend that they hooked us up with that we can do that. And people were hitting me up online saying, hey, is this shit legit? For sure. I went back and rechecked it all out. Feel very confident about it. And, to buy ounces of gold at $1,200-$1,600, that's a big buy. This is a subscription service, so it's a lot more familiar, and you see results a lot quicker, and make sure you got a nice little safe to put things away in.
Yeah, we always take the chance of that we vetted them as much as we could, as we did with decent insurance.
Mm-hmm.
It's turned out to be a pleasant surprise having him on.
Mm-hmm.
We're hoping, it can't always hit a home run with each one, and we have to learn just like other people, but we vetted the Get Acre Gold a lot to look at that. And gold is gold. And if it's rated a certain thing, look it up as far as we did to see what exactly it's backed by. It's not, I don't mean backed by gold, but how it's certified and all that stuff. If it's certified by the same as what you see with the traditional ways of buying it, then you're safe.
It is 100% serial stamped. It's got their own stamp on it. 0.999 purities, all the, it meets up to all standards that way. It's just the model of a subscription service that they've decided to adopt for themselves to make it more accessible. So very cool get through Podcorn, and I'm excited about it, man. And, I think definitely any extra cash is better spent than buying some cryptocurrency that in a blockchain where somebody can die because they got the secret goddamn code, and then everybody's $2.5 billion from the hedge fund is flushed down the shitter, and you're going, how am I supposed to get it back? Well, that was a fun little game, wasn't it? Speaking of game,
oh God,
Triple H discusses Tommaso Ciampa not wanting to join the main roster. Triple Game recently spoke at the After the Bell podcast where he discussed Tommaso's recent comments about not wanting to join the main roster. Ciampa previously claimed he would rather stick in NXT forever than join the main roster, stating he would like to one day transition into a backstage role with the company. Game responded to what the former NXT champ had to say, discussing the reason behind that decision. Excuse me. I think there's a part of Ciampa that is comes down to wear and tear, and physically it's out of his current place physically. He can handle this. Could he handle the schedule? Could he handle the grind of the full-time schedule on Raw or SmackDown? It's a different beast, even though that schedule is dropped and has become more manageable, especially if you have a family and everything else. Triple H also discussed Ciampa possibly becoming a coach for WWE, revealing that he's already doing production work for Evolve when he gets the chance. Like, when the time's right, he'll be a phenomenal coach. He'll be a phenomenal backstage producer. We're letting him get familiar with it now. He goes to Evolve now, and he'll go there and sign autographs, but during the day, he's a producer. He goes and pulls the role that what we do. He's going there and passing down the knowledge to those kids. He's an agent and a producer and help them with their shows and does everything else where they're producing television and the event. And when they're producing their television event or digital event or whatever the event is that night, he's helping them that night. Okay, we get it. He's taking the things that we're teaching him and he's using them someplace else, and he's going to translate in his career too. Okay. Okay, good. Tommaso, I hope he does stay in Florida. I hope he kisses his baby and, every day, and his wife, and goes to Disney World like he does every weekend, and he gets to grow up and live an awesome wrestler life where he lives there, and he is a coach, and after everything that he's done, not much is asked more of him physically to do, and he can pass it on. I'm sure he's learned a ton being at NXT. This guy's been at OVW since 2005. He knows how a show's put together, how guys are agented, how guys are coached. He's done it all from manager level to performer where he is now. So it's not like Tommaso learning the business. He's going to be a coach one day. Go ahead. Yeah.
I just know these people, man. And I know if they see that you're very happy and you're seemingly calling your own shots, they love nothing more than to throw that monkey wrench in your plans and try to. They're just famous for it. Look at the Lana and Rusev thing. You want to talk about something that could potentially break up a marriage for real?
Yeah.
The stuff you're asking me. And Ciampa probably sees that. And I sent you the link to the Arn Anderson thing when he was an agent up there for so many years.
Yeah.
What happened to him and how he was treated. These stories get. I mean, he's not stupid. And obviously by putting it out there in public, I think Ciampa's kind of putting it out there for whatever interview, but he's also putting it out there to tell the office. He may not have even said anything to the office, but it's an unspoken thing that he's passively telling through a third party, a radio show, a newspaper. I'm not going back. This is fine. This is, and if didn't he say, if I was given a choice, I would just retire?
Yeah.
Isn't that an ultimatum to the office? Now, for now, they're going to work with him because they need him.
Right.
Because he has value as a performer. But if he strictly goes to being a coach or an agent, look at how they treat those guys. I really did get the curtain peeled back by Arn and during his podcast when I listened to that.
Yeah, that was pretty stiff, man. Like that. We'll get to that in just a minute because I just wanted to say.
But there's a good analogy to that because I feel like Ciampa doesn't want to be in that position and then come home after all that just to be miserable.
Ciampa's a guy. I don't think he would be. I think he's a guy who could stay there, watch his little girl grow up, do the whole dad thing and just cash it in, man, and not have to worry about it. He got to. I've talked to you about this, and not that and now he's been up on Raw and the world knows who he is or what have you. I don't think he's a guy who needs to be, I gotta be world champ, Shawn style, do whatever it takes, F my family and be out on the road and do that type of stuff. He washed the stain off of like, I went from a OVW skinny manager to getting politicked and being effed out of it. And he was so paranoid back then, dude. Like, there was just such a political time. Then he busts his ass on the indies, gets super shredded. Him and Gargano call the office every day for 18 months until they get a shot. Get over in ROH, finally get back, and become indie darlings with a psycho killer Keskase shit. NXT, the stain is washed off with everything he got to accomplish there in legendary takeover matches. So as everybody looks back at the decade, his matches, probably 2 or 3 of them are in their top 10 list, right? Like, I think everything now of like that I struggle with or Papadon struggle with that we talked to you about, that's put to bed. And he's now has clear vision. This is my opinion, has clear vision to be like, dude, just give me the 12-year job, put away the college money for the kid. My house is going to be paid off or is. and we're good to go, dude. I really hope that's where he's at. But like you said, who's gonna fuck that up? Who's gonna just do it for the fun of it?
Yeah, well, Jargo said that they're going to feature the NXT titles at WrestleMania, so he can get his WrestleMania moment. Doing it that way.
I think that's awesome. That gives me more respect for WWE than what I would normally have, where I'm like, all right, they're just gonna fucking marginalize them,
Well, how many guys have been sent up there and been just watered down, or been even Gargano and Ciampa for the short week or whatever they were up there. Even the NXT group that was put over at Survivor Series was never to be heard or seen from again.
No.
So when they look at this, and how many guys now, like Kevin Owens, I thought was going to be NXT. Like, I'm not going back up there. That's screw that. Finn Balor probably saw that the writing was on the wall, that he was just going to get lost in the mix. How many guys are going to say when they go, you're called up to Raw? They're like, no, that's cool. Because now they got USA Network on Wednesday nights. So they need like talent. They need stars on the show. It's kind of like the best place you can be in as a talent, where maybe you can do what Ciampa is doing.
I think so too. I was also thinking with Baylor, dude, how cooled off, and you got to start from square one again. Pretty much like maybe do like a Sting reinvention where he's in the rafters in a new paint, something along those lines, like a not Venom, but not an evil Spider-Man, but like I don't know, something's like, you know what I mean, where he's just in the shadows and it's a new thing and he's just watching. I don't know, to reintroduce him slow. We had talked about them ribbing and making people divorce. Unfortunately, Hamin Media Group, it was posted from BJ Whitmer's official Twitter. This is my statement on this matter. I have a personal statement to make. My wife, Kelly Klein, and I are divorcing. This is happening because Kelly breached the trust in our relationship by stepping outside our marriage. This is the only thing I have to say about the matter. This has been a very difficult time for myself and my family. News of our split was already spreading around the business, and I wanted to make a statement before it made it to social media or the wrestling media. Thank you, BJ. Sorry to hear that, read that. Dude, but still, like, stiff, like, what's the reason? Throws her under the bus right out in public that way, Ugh. That to me means, is it somebody else inside the biz, and is there going to be more to it? Because otherwise you might not throw that jab.
Did he end up losing his job at ROH during that whole thing? I don't know. Or is he still there?
I don't know. Maybe Jargo knows that one. Maybe Jargo knows that.
Well, she was she had the head injury. She went through everything, Joey Mercury stuff with whatever the position, the general manager, that great guy. And BJ came to defend her on social media. I saw you posted that on the group as well, yeah. Right? Or you or William Alcia.
William Alcia did, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Whitmer's is at AEW now. Well, Kelly Klein's not going to AEW. Nope. That would be my guess.
I would guess that too. And I don't know anything about it, what have you, or how close Joey and her are. I don't know who it is, or not to speculate anything like that way. So we'll see. Oh, yeah, man.
These wrestling marriages and relationships can be really dangerous things when everything is kind of like converged instead of being separated.
Yeah, and I don't want to jump on him yet or by anything about that, but we have Chris Silvio on the platform now, and I think he's got a lot to say about that. It's interesting because he's done a fair amount of dating and married in the business and divorced in the business, and I don't want to go through and dox his exes or anything like that, but that just seems like it's dangerous, because when it comes crashing down and it hurts inside, it's like the ripple effect around you is your business and your personal life. There's no escaping it. There's no like get away from it. So that's a lot more to deal with, I guess, the don't shit where you eat type scenario. Oh, man. BT Sports announces WWE NXT and WWE NXT UK will be aired in the UK. BT Sports has revealed some huge news for UK fans to kickstart the new decade, confirming that both WWE NXT and WWE NXT UK will air live Last night's Raw officially saw the end of a 30-year partnership between Sky Sports and WWE. The pirated stream we usually watch was a Sky Sports thing, and Austin of the best, he would go, WWE on Sky Sports, and it would always pop me that way. It just come in every time. WWE on Sky is what it was. As the producer of his company has shifted to BT Sports for the first time. Was that a good Austin or no?
It's a good Austin.
Okay.
Now he's got to do completely different voiceovers for BT Sports.
After
WWE's on BT, that's Johnny Ace.
I could do it. The rising sports broadcaster previously announced that both Raw and SmackDown would be airing on the channel starting from this Friday. So there you go, old Athers. However, the partnership now officially beginning. BT Sports has announced that both of WWE's NXT brands will be joining as well. So they're getting the whole shebang. This is massive news for UK wrestling fans. It will mark the first time since WWE NXT has joined the USA Network that the show is available to view live. Previously, fans had to wait until the next day for it to be uploaded to the WWE Network, and therefore that will now provide direct competition to AEW Dynamite's deal with ITV. Well, I got to take issue with that, Stevie. They lost the Revolutionary War, and isn't that part of reparations that they have to wait a full day to watch NXT?
I think that's in the Constitution.
I think that is. Rights, isn't it? I think that is in there, that you're not allowed to watch undercard pay-per-views the same day as America is. I'm going to have to call Trump on that.
Change.org started.
Or actually, maybe they're winning because they have to wait an extra day to watch wrestling, so they're not getting oversaturated.
So so the spin is that this is incredible news that WWE is looking like they chose BT Sports over Sky Sports, which basically threw them off their programming because, according to the chat, 3,000 views on Skies, or 3,000. Well, it might have been 300,000 viewers. 3,000 be really bad. Get more viewers than that.
Well, maybe it's just because everybody's pirating the stream like I was through VIPbox.nu or Watch Wrestling.
Do you think that's the next step of their list of excuses? We have social media, we have mobile devices, we have YouTube. Do you think the next one is like, well, we did some stats and, we see that like 7 million people a week are pirating Raw. So our ratings are actually 9 million a week.
Pooh666 says only 25,000 people have BT Sports in UK. Is that true, or are you just busting balls? I'm not sure here in the video. But yeah, so we'll see, man. That's what they get. But here's the thing. They're all on that channel now. You're going to get SmackDown, Raw, NXT, and NXT UK. Dude, that's oversaturation. Like you're gonna burn people out, dude.
Dude, there was something really funny. Just while I'm thinking about it, the WWE on Fox or Fox WWE YouTube channel, which is not a WWE channel, it's more of a Fox YouTube channel, was airing clips from Raw, like the little 3 to 4 minute segment clips. I found that to be strange.
Well, I mean, it's what Sasha Shanks wants, Sasha Shanks gets.
They call that the souffle. That was one commentator. You hit him with the souffle.
Hit him with the souffle. Oh man. Not
Why
sure.
Don't they have wrestling commentators try to call football games? That would be even more entertaining.
Well, you're going to see it soon.
The guy on the end tackled the guy in the middle who had the ball. Yeah, you mean the defensive end that came around and yeah, he did something, and then the guy took a bump.
Yeah, well, she's on Backstage now, but big joke till she's your lead announcer on XFL.
Who is this?
What's her name?
Renee Young?
Liv Morgan crashes the Raw wedding, if you didn't see that, Stevie, as Lana's secret lover. After several weeks of vignettes hyping the complete makeover and return of Liv Morgan, the former Riot Squad member crashed the so-called wedding of the decade on Monday Night Raw, dropping the bombshell on the bride and groom. The entire WWE Universe, Lana and Bobby Lashley's ceremony was filled with unusual shenanigans, and interruptions that we've grown to expect from pro wrestling weddings, including two individuals who claimed to be their respective first spouses. Eventually, Morgan made her presence felt, bringing the wedding to a halt before claiming that the love of her life was standing in the ring, while Lashley tried to defend himself, claiming he had never touched her. Morgan admitted she was actually in love with the ravishing Russian, revealing a secret relationship between the two. The whole thing resulted in Lana and Liv violently brawling. I added violently brawling all around the ring, and Rusev popped out of a giant wedding cake and beat the nuptials out of Lashley just seconds before the officiant could utter the words man and wife. Yeah, a strange lesbian beating when we really wanted an HLA makeout moment, and maybe them leaving as a throuple, to do some, use the gay community, oh my God, they're together. But then it was pointed out to me, I think on chat, maybe by Strangler Steve, somebody told him that they did set up on Total Divas a while ago that Lana says she is bisexual. So at this time, I'd really just like to say, let's take a moment of silence and envision in our minds Lana and Liv Morgan actually doing what we all, imagine them doing in our own respective ways. So let's just take a second.
Now let's imagine, you may have an erection that Lana is talking. Now you can go back to work. You can get up out. You can leave your desk safely.
Oh, man.
I don't, dude, that whole thing too, like, why is there this is what I've said before about the ratings and the executives and the way wrestling gets a pass that super popular shows like Gotham and other ones don't get a pass at. Why is nobody looking at this and the lesbian, the gay community, and you can't even say you can never even say the right pronoun these days to address somebody.
No.
This here was exploitation, sexploitation, whatever you want to call it. They should be protesting outside Raw and SmackDown and protesting to have them taken off the network if they're in line with what they usually protest. Am I correct on that? Because this made being a lesbian or bisexual something to fight over or be ashamed of, and the people were laughing and all this. I mean, this was, if you're gonna go and be offended by other things, I couldn't take my eyes off this whole segment, but it offended me that I wasted my time watching it, if that makes any sense.
Yeah,
it was bad. I didn't even know they ended up getting married. That was the best part. I was like, they ended up getting married.
Here we go. You ready for the next step? Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose react to Lana and Liv Morgan's storyline. The wrestling world was left shocked last night as Liv Morgan, yada, yada. The former Riot Squad member, yada, yada. They left with Lana's feelings for Liv not being addressed yet. However, the two people who did address the situation and their feelings about it were Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose. Deville, who was WWE's first openly gay female wrestler, reacted to the storyline as soon as it happened. It's worth noting that Rose and Deville had previously pitched an LGBTQ story angle to WWE, but that never ended up coming to fruition. From Daria Baranato at Sonya Deville, WWE. There you go. Well...
What? Yeah. No. She's using her real name too?
Yep. Well, my mind is blown, she tweets. And then Mandy, no words, looking down, whatever emoji, like exhausted emoji. And then Daria Baranato at Sonya Deville, WWE, retweets that. And she says, I know, my friend. And then with some stupid-ass emoji. Taken right from them. Oh, no, you know what? That's good, but it's not good on you. Like, not you, real lesbian. No, that's not good for you. We're going to put it on this bullshit angle over here. And, follow up as Vince is thrilled with the way things are and sees Lana as a top star after the marriage gimmick the other night. He loved it all. But, dude, here we are, man. Here we are. You think you're going to be the LGBTQ push. They let you do the flag in the back pocket. They bring it so close with Finn. He gets married, buried, married.
He got married.
Buried. Yeah, man. He got married in some little ceremony to that little blonde that he did the vacation pictures with, which is... could be a stronger beard than mine, but where has he been since then? Here's them pitching it, and they can't really say. They want to say shit on social media, but they just have to get their little gaffes in because it'll get stooged back through the writers or through whoever's watching to be like, they know we stole it from them. They don't see anything. If they say any more, should we put heat on them? Like there's all this underlying little Cold War step forward and to try and cross the line instead of saying, what the fuck? We pitched this exact thing. This is a slap in the face of the gay community. How dare they? And having real heat, they just do these little on Twitter fucking gaffes. And that's where we are right now. Pretty interesting, man.
What does tweeting get you? Like tweeting, you
well,
obviously go back and forth. And my guess is that's the actual conversation. There was no text messages back and forth. They tweeted each other, so people could see it.
Yeah.
But are you really ever going to win this war with The Office? No. Oh yeah, okay, cool. That's a cool tweet. But wait until you see what we do this time. Wait until you see what we do and what we're going to do with you. You know what? You look hurt. You look very upset. I'm going to give you some time off to kind of rest and recharge.
Can we take just a moment of silence for a possible Lana, Liv Morgan, Sonya Deville, Mandy Rose locker room daisy chain where somebody just walks in on it like they're the 24/7 title, comes ripping through the locker room and they're all just in there going to town? Boy, that'd be good.
Does Brandy Rhodes come in afterwards and take a selfie with Mike Tyson?
There goes that erection. Thanks.
Sorry. I'm trying to keep it on point. No pun intended.
Yeah, no.
I do want
to. We're up to our goddamn necks and hot lesbians around here. What are we gonna do with them all?
I think Russo and I are the only two people on the planet that aren't into that stuff. I don't think it's. I don't care for it. I don't care.
I care for it, but it's like they're just instead of doing the hot sex part of it, they're just doing the fucking. They're beating the shit out of each other violently and scoffing at each other and being like, you bitch, and this, instead of being like, dude, let's strap one on and go for it.
Here's what's going to happen. Oh, yeah, we're going to make a big angle out of this, and you guys are going to come on SmackDown and talk about, or come to Raw and say, we're the real lesbian couple. We're the real couple, and you guys stole the idea. So now the makeshift tag team of Lana, who's forced the team with Liv Morgan, will squash Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose, never to be seen again.
Yep.
That's how I think that'll go.
Off of these tweets and that kind of shit, and them taking it and stealing it, it could, man. I mean,
or we have a great idea. These are the lipstick lesbians on Raw, but you guys are going to stand out. So you're going to shave your heads and make you the butch lesbians. You're going to wear flannels and. Dude, they have these things. They may be so far in the bubble they don't realize how to fuck with them that way, but they're gonna find a way. You agree with that? Right?
Absolutely. Yeah, make them roll up in a Subaru Outback with a Coexist sticker on it and cat hair all over.
Honda Element, I have one.
Was it? Jeep, the small Jeep, not Jeep Cherokee, but Jeep Liberty. Also, one of the most, I learned this in a marketing thing from Ad Age. Jeep Liberty, one of the highest selling vehicles of the homosexual community, as well as Subaru. I'm not sure why.
What's your tagline about advertising?
That's the most racist, sexist, ageist thing that we can participate in.
Okay, so you don't take any heat for saying that. That's actually
that's Ad Age magazine.
It
just popped me. I was like, wow, the Jeep Liberty, the most gay vehicle. I think it was like of 2012 or something like that. It's a long time ago. When it was in college.
Now, if they were smart, they would. WWE could land that advertising by putting this on TV the right way.
Good. Let's see here. There was one other thing with the wedding. I was just going to get it all together. Who officiated Lana and Lashley's wedding? PW Insider reporting that New York City-based actor Rick Malone played the priest during last night's wedding between Lashley and Lana. Malone was recent in the film Chappaquiddick. According to PW Insider, Malone described the wedding, which features an interruption of Lana and Lashley's ex-spouses, the revelation that Lana had been in a relationship with Liv Morgan, Russo popping the cake as the craziest 20 minutes of his professional acting career. Well, I guess so. No script and letting her run the improv side of it out there. You're flying by the seat of your pants, and all you're just doing is saying, speak now or forever hold your peace, and then the cue for that person comes 7-8 seconds late every time. He was fumbling and stumbling as much as he could. But I got to say, the other actors, I don't know who the dude was. The girl, it was trained by Damian Adams, and he's gotten a lot of girls in front of WWE and gotten shots, whether it's Karen Q or Deonna Purrazzo, who's signed obviously with NXT right now. Here's another girl. That girl took a hell of a bump on the stairs when she took that bip, dude. That was one of the stiffest things I'd seen in a long time. Sold hard as hell. And the dude who played the husband, I thought he was one of the best actors I'd seen on Raw in a hell of a long time. He stuck out his performance above everybody. He almost made the scene believable while we were just letting the air out of it. And it's like, that whoopee cushion sound is like, nah, fuck that. I'm going to go out there and be a real believable ex-husband. So it was interesting to me that those two, after we've seen This Is Your Life with Alexa Bliss and Bailey and those terrible actors and all that shit, like when you're marching people out that way, it's like danger, Will Robinson. So
that guy's an actual like professional actor. That's my first thought.
You're only as good as your scene partners, bro.
So he's never made it out to Chicago ever.
Doesn't need to. He's New York.
What about her tweets? Honest tweets.
The ones with Liv from Disney World and stuff, showing them out having a good time together?
No. The one where she was lambasting and chastising people for judging her and judging people for their sexuality, trying to be a baby face.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Trying to baby it that way.
And answering people. I actually looked at the thread because I can't believe this is like not going to, and people were obviously confirmation biased to get that reply of thank you very much for understanding. She was replying, dude, come on, man. Don't sell it.
If they made out, maybe, but dude, if they're really a couple, we watched a gay domestic dispute go down with a beating, and Lana should have been arrested for beating up her girlfriend.
She should have been in the cop car right next to Tyler.
Right. Like her getting arrested on her wedding day would have been pretty goddamn good finish, right?
Especially if it was the same two cops that arrested them last time. That would have been great. Bring them back.
Oh, shit. They did such a great job last time. Like they got they wanted to pop the sexuality, but dude, they did it all wrong on that type of shit. So again, the brilliant performance shines through, but this was all a setup and just Vince wanting to fly by the seat of his pants, and he was probably so pumped when the Jerry fucking chants were going and all this shit because his rib got over. The number did a 2.4, which is still abysmal, even though, like you said, you're on this edge of your seat, but it's not because it's good. It's like waiting for everything that could go wrong to go wrong, and it was just Lana's shitty performance. But then she jumps on him, gets the fucking dark makeup all over her face. You can hear Lawler laughing and ribbing about it in the fucking booth, which if this was a serious thing to be set up and not as a rib to everybody or a punishment on them, he would never be making those little fucking side comments during it at all, dude. So it just goes to show that none of this is like planned, like this is what's going to get them all over. It's all like, we're going to sacrifice our TV to rib them and throw them in the deep end with fucking cement blocks around their fucking feet, and let's see if they can sink or swim on this. And who cares? Fuck the audience. Fuck them. Fuck the audience. This is my entertainment. And that's really what you watched.
Well, that's the thing. The Lars not going rogue. He's got a headset on.
Yeah.
And he might have some of his own jokes, but Vince is feeding him some here, bury him here, look at the makeup, and laughing, and
Well, I think Vince is probably in the back. And Lawler, I think we're gonna need more makeup out here.
So Lashley was wearing makeup. It's funny, dude.
He had his eyebrows penciled in, dude. Black fucking pencil in.
My wife could have did that with her microblade. Would have done a lot better job.
Well, his whole thing is having the full shave like Kane, no eyebrows, everything. So why for this
thing? But he's
a
man's man who's wearing makeup.
Or did they make him do it and he's in on the rib and they knew there was a spot where she needs to jump on him and kiss him all over his face, and he's going to get all fucking made up to do that. And then we've got, if you really want to get into it and they knew that and that was planned, now you got a fucking ACH fuck you spot there. I'm just hypothetically being an asshole, right? Like Russo, those guys asked me, you guys asked me, like, how would you survive, Hamin? Like, I could do some fucking devious asshole shit booking to be a scumbag if I need to.
Well, just that in itself, the whole relationship and the whole, black on white shit is
Yeah.
just,
Yeah.
in itself can be considered to be racist.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, the thing is, it's a bait of like, they're doing it as the interracial rib from Blacked and Pornhub.com. But how dare you? You think there's something wrong with you that there's a black man and a white woman together? No, we're progressive. Like they're just waiting to play that card for anybody who wants to come at them. But the reality is your tight little white chick is getting the fucking sides blown out by fucking Mandingo Warrior. Like that's the reality, right? Like that's still there in the underlying shit. So that pops me, but it pops them too. And that's all right there in Gorilla. That's really what's going on. It's nothing with the storyline or the progression or the character or the higher. None of that. None of that.
Well, what would you think hypothetically if whoever runs the USA network that's in charge of working with Raw, what if they sent somebody there to just observe every week and come back? Like you don't get into trying to steer the ship.
Yeah.
You're just an observer sent by the network. Do you think, I mean, they might be on their best behavior for 1 to 2 weeks, but then eventually that will all, you can't hide it.
Well, they know they got to corrupt them. Whoever that person is or would be, to stand there and be vice principal over the lunchroom, where the kids were doing whatever they wanted before and swearing and saying whatever. Now there's a fucking standard and practice in place, and it's just the big motherfucker in the corner who knows it and has been empowered and is a known stooge who's going to turn right around and if he sees something, text right to USA. Like, they're going to tighten up game real fucking quick, aren't they, dude? Like, or they're going to have to go after 2 weeks and they get their balls burned. They're going to go, we got to take this guy out or we got to put him on our side. So they'll start baby facing him and everybody will be doing this. So when it comes in, so they can get something on him or set him up to get that person gone because they can't have any oversight. No one could be above them and tell them what to do. They've got it all figured out. Does that seem plausible how it would work out?
It seems plausible, but if that were you or me there, we wouldn't fall for it.
No.
We would say, oh, you left us a gift of money in a briefcase. Thank you. And then they expect the favor. No, I just thought you were being nice. Yeah. You double doink them like that.
Absolutely.
Fuck you, man.
Absolutely, dude.
Yeah. Whatever.
So that's a very interesting scenario. A true vice principal or vice president, I guess, just standing in the corner.
Just somebody you want to come in and just you don't do what you do. I'm just here as any other fan who you let backstage or work the pay-per-views.
Not that observer.
Now when you get back, we're like, hey, we have a bike ride. Matt Bloom, get your helmet on.
That was good. Smart Mark Video merges with IWTV. Smart Mark Video Independent Wrestling have announced that they've officially merged. Good, I guess. Is Smart Mark, who is that?
Smart Mark, they did a couple of the indie shows I did up in New England, and obviously IWTV has like Beyond Wrestling and all the Northeast ones from New England.
Yeah, it looks like they're
probably
doing
2 local companies that kind of got together.
Mm-hmm.
Smart Mark hasn't been doing too much, so IWTV is just a streaming service for independent wrestling all over the place.
Okay.
Like a Fight TV, but all independent wrestling.
I see that they're on Fight here. It does see that they're all going to be featured there. So good, man. Getting more stuff out there. I know Crossfire and what I've been doing up there is on Fight TV, and Immortal is. And I know that Chris Envy's working on some stuff. He's got a whole catalog of Dynasty backlog shit. So if you want indie wrestling, it seems like Fight TV is the place to go. I watch it.
Stop kayfabe me, Chris Envy. You want some voiceover work? Let's talk money. Come on.
Let's do it.
Don't string me along.
Yep.
Unless you've been down in there, down there.
Down where?
The whole time.
Mm-hmm.
down at Chris Envy's height.
Tony Schiavone, missing from homecoming edition of AEW Dynamite. Reports that Schiavone will miss this week's or last night's episode because Taz was announced to jump in for the show. No word on whether he'll be replacing Schiavone on commentary full time. He was busy with his commitments to produce this year's Sugar Bowl. AEW Dynamite will be broadcasting live from Jacksonville, Florida, where the promotion is based. Well, that's a good side gig, the Sugar Bowl. Hell yeah. And Taz, I thought, from what I watched, did very well as usual. He can jump right in, but interesting with some side business we were trying to get done that kind of went quiet, and it was probably because of our connections and what he was trying to do. But you never know. The way things are moving behind the scenes now, it seemed like they were moving away from each other, but they could just be a larger circle. We could have been closer, and we're just taking another path all the way around till we collide. So I don't know. Will he become a full-time voice, Taz, on Dynamite? Depends, I guess, on maybe how booked Schiavone is with outside projects too.
Schiavone's got a ton of stuff going on. He's got the minor league baseball team. He's got this. He's got other stuff. He wanted to work at Starbucks to get the health insurance. He's a hustler. He's got like 100 kids, so I guess you got to have. He's got more than popping on.
He's got the
five minimum. I think 5 kids.
He's got the Blue Chew and Cameo promos he's got to get out.
Yeah, that destroyed my childhood. I never want to talk about that again. When I see him, I'm going to say that. Sorry, man. I would have paid you whatever money you needed just to keep my childhood intact.
That's it.
I can't see that thing of him announcing the Heart. What was the famous SummerSlam 90 when the Heart Foundation came out on the opening? Was fucking the Pop. You got to watch it. A Pop, like it was in Newark, New Jersey, I think. And Schiavone was and just his reaction on the opening of the show was so hot. I just never forget it. But now that Blue Chew came out, I do forget it. It's gone. What do you? Here's a lesson though. You're talking about all this kind of like side business of trying to make things and match things up and stuff. We've learned over the years, and this goes double for any kind of collaborations in fitness, YouTube channels, social media, any brands or whatever. You got to do what you do best. If people want to collaborate with you, if people want to work with you, if people want to use your skills or services, they do. If they don't, they don't. There's no other way to put it.
Sure.
Why chase down people to try to do them a solid bit of service or a favor, whatever you want to call it. I'm not saying this in a malicious way. I'm just saying our focus in 2020 needs to be we do what we do, and that's fine. If people don't, we learned from Fox. That whole thing from Fox, I felt so bad for Russo because we were on the call, and Russo laid everything out for them.
Yep.
Had to be a good 10 minutes, if not more.
Oh, it was 15, 20.
We laid out the whole time. And Vince put it so eloquently with it was just like, it wasn't a pitch. It was just like, this is what I can do. There was no like massaging his own ego or trying to go outside of what he could do. He just basically was going to repeat what he did during the Attitude Era. And then when Jacob Ullman said, after all that, so what are you saying? What are you trying to tell? What do you want? Or what are you offering? Or what? I mean, like he didn't say it. That's the kind of stuff where 20 minutes of our time was wasted where we just, what was your thing? Show, don't tell.
Yeah.
The truth is in our actions. If people want in 2020, if they want us to help them in any capacity, then you do. If you don't, you don't. We got to get on and do our deal.
Yep. I mean, that's the thing. The train's ripping by. Are you going to go on it? There's so many. Which one are you going to jump on, man? And I'm just going to create more and more options for myself because I can't sit around like it's, waiting for that call. Oh, when's it coming?
And I said, too, just to interject for a second, to you and Russo, and I'm usually not like that because I'm the guy who offers fucking $15 workout programs and free personal training along with it. But I have no room to talk. But we've been giving out way too much charity to these fucking people within the wrestling business in the back, in the executive positions and all that stuff.
Disco said on Conan. Disco said on Conan, he goes, what do they need to do? Why won't they hire Russo? They're talking to him, and he goes, Why do they need to? He goes, all you got to do is listen to his Raw and SmackDown review. And he didn't drop us, but obviously we're the players in it. And he goes, he's giving them everything they could use for free on that. For all they got to do is pay $3. They can have everything. And you see him implementing threads and everything we talk about. So, and doing it badly, attempting. But again, it's a feeble attempt. And that's a true shoot. And I'm also curious this week after we drop Horseman and the Stooge Report gets out and the clips go, after we, jab back at keeping it 100 for being on the disco list as we have Russian vids now. So I feel a big shitty 6-man coming up in our future, maybe an 8-man. Good stuff. King Corbin reveals which 2 legends have helped him improve. During the interview with Chiefs Kingdom, King Corbin revealed which 2 WWE legends have helped him throughout his career so far. He says, The Undertaker is someone I've looked up to physically and mentally, so he's a guy I grab onto every time he's around. He seems very willing to help, and not a lot of guys want to give out secrets. He helps in how I think about putting things together, and he really plays a significant role in helping me find success and fame. Same with Triple H, as he's hands-on with me since day one, and is always interested in what I'm doing and how I'm doing and how I can evolve. And those guys have played major roles in helping me grow just helping me grow, said Corbin. So. Dude, you want to talk about smart politically? I mean, and this guy's come through NFL and all this, so he's savvy. He's a slick son of a bitch, and there's other things I won't mention that make him a slick son of a bitch, or a real son of a bitch. And who's helping you? Taker and Game. Oh, okay. Like, there's no who you gonna get in political camps with. We talked about this, right? Guys are gonna circle up. When you've got all these producers and whatnot, he's got Game and Taker. Yeah, he knows what the fuck he's doing, dude. And not to say that their advice is WrestleMania main eventers and where he wants to go isn't exactly that. And not to say that what we talked about with Ciampa being the home family man who wants a future versus the guy who's willing to do anything it takes to get there. That's the yin and yang, in my opinion, right there.
I'm not saying they didn't help him, but I'm saying that, like, even if they helped him once each, he's going to put that over compared to maybe if it was Arn Anderson that took him aside every single day on the road.
Sure.
Not saying that's what happened, but you know what I mean?
Please go into all that. I want you to weave in and out of that video you just sent.
Well, the Arn Anderson podcast, I don't mind hearing Arn talk. I know some people think it's just the delivery is too dry and too monotone or whatever, but it's a very radio style thing to me, at least. Coast to coast AM type style, if you're into that kind of like story weaving and being patient with it. But we always talk about where are these producers? What are they doing? What's going on with these producers? And we're starting to get a glimpse from Arn with each of these segments that somehow the writers have all the power. And I'm going to, William Alcia put something from Jim Ross up in the group that I'm going to read that threads right into this.
Okay.
So Arn, I would play the clip. It's a little long, but to summarize and to paraphrase, basically, every single time Arn tried to help, he was cut down even more. He was treated like an outsider because they still have a hard-on for a WCW guy, even though he'd been with the company for 18 years. They treat him like an outsider. They actually treat him like he's a dumb fuck, he said, like he's stupid idiot, like he's trying to help. So basically, he would leave on a Friday, do the house shows, agent the house shows, put about 1,000 miles on his on his rental car or whatever to get the Raw. And then he said that he'd do Raw, maybe I think SmackDown or whatever would happen. It would be like 4 a.m. and he would get an email where he would have to critique Raw and still be like there early for SmackDown or TV or whatever. So he'd have to write this thing up at 4 a.m. Now imagine you're writing these things up at 4 a.m. after being dead tired from the road, putting 1,000 or more miles after getting to the building at like 4 p.m. on a house show, having to walk these guys through stuff. They do whatever they want anyway. Then you're driving to the next town. Then you have to critique the show, and you honestly critique it maybe for a while. They take zero suggestions that you give them, I should say. They treat you like you're stupid after a while. They cut you down. They like Vince, he said, would just get mad at him and call him stupid right to his face. So you wonder, now they're fucking at the bar and they're all taking pictures in a group photo with a smile on their face, getting drunk, because what other choice do they have in their mind at that point? So everything we've said about them, while it might be true on the surface, there's an internal struggle within that company, from writers who have never taken a bump to 30, 40, 50-year veterans that basically are old news, old toys, whatever it might be to Vince. Not as sexy as saying I hired guys from Notre Dame to write for me. It's just, now, is it the agent's fault or producer's fault for saying, hey, we're gone, see you later? And that keeps happening over and over again, where you just have a mass exit of people that just can't deal with it. Because I don't think I could show up every single day and either check out and not care, because then it would be torturous, because you're on the road 24 hours a day. Mm-hmm. You have to care. You have to have some sort of fulfillment from doing that. Otherwise, why not just get a 9-to-5 job? Mm-hmm. Because if I'm checking in and checking out, the check-in time is 3 times longer than any regular job. So I know I'm going off a little bit on a tangent about it, because I'm just trying to once again feel what they're feeling, go back to something that I push way deep down within my inner, whatever, back of my head or soul or whatever, that I don't want to relive again, because I know what it feels like to go in each every week and try to care and try to look your best and try to work out and diet, knowing that it doesn't make a fucking bit of difference to them. Now, I took it as, I'm going to make you look stupid when I wrestle. I'm going to make you look stupid when I come through the curtain. Mm-hmm. I'm going to look as much like a star, so you look like a fucking idiot every time. And then when I lose a match, it's going to look phony, because the guy that's beating, most times they put me in, it wasn't phony, because the guys could probably really beat me. But I'm going to make it look like you're just not doing anything with that guy. Like we look at Ryder and Hawkins, or we look at Elias, or we look at any of these other guys. There's no discernible common sense reason to not do something with most of the guys there. Mm-hmm. So it has to be some kind of bullshit personal thing, or just you playing God and fucking with a human life.
I think that's 95% of the time it's that, the second one. And we suffer once again. Fuck them, right? Fuck 'em. Yeah, fuck. Brock Lesnar confirmed for first WWE Raw of 2020. So he'll be there Monday, joined by Paul Heyman, and hear what where fans will hear what they have to say. Nothing's been officially confirmed for the segment, other than that they will be appearing. However, there's a good chance that Lesnar could be appearing to start the build towards WWE Royal Rumble appearance. Lesnar typically does compete on the show, last year defeating Finn Balor, and it would make sense to start the storyline next week, with the road to WrestleMania soon beginning. The chances that Lesnar will begin popping up more frequently as WWE looks to build anticipation for the biggest shows of the year. We'll see if that really helps spike ratings. I don't understand why, if he's the champ, he's the man. I want him, people can shit on him in whatever group, Hamin Media or wherever you talk wrestling. To me, the guy's the most legit draw there's ever been, and he continues to be so. I don't care what anybody has to say. I mean, the Seth Rollins shit with him was just them ribbing him again. What we've talked about here with Arn, I'm sure Arn had tons of ideas on that, where it's just like, nope, Brock doesn't want to do business. We're gonna he's gonna get 7 curb stomps, like, and just bullshit. And that thing with Arn was, Conrad asked him. He said, "When did you know you were off of viewer mail? You were getting fired, or this was kind of the beginning of the end of your leaving?" He goes, about 4 years before I left, they stopped taking my opinions. So for 4 years, he would have to do that, mail it in, these notes that writers would never take, and it end up being their original shit script, where they don't know how to put heat on a heel or make a baby face off of the heel heat. And we've seen this with babies doing heel finishes and things like that make no sense whatsoever in heel spots, just because that's non-wrestling people who are in the writing room thinking they know wrestling, but don't even know who tags first on the hot tag or why. So they don't have the basic knowledge to even write wrestling. And this is who Arn's dealing with, but he's a worker. He's going to cash a paycheck just like he did for years and years and years, and like he is now. So a very interesting clip there, a very telling of the process, and that process needs to be good goddamn to hell, because there's no way you're going to get a good show out of doing shit like that, dude. No way.
Man, I don't know. I'm not looking forward to it. You talk about shows next week. I can't even think about it.
Did you get your
think about it?
Well, here's some positive note. Did you get your invitation yet?
Down where?
Down to Charlotte and Flair Andrade's wedding, because they announced their engagement, pal. Yeah. WWE superstars Andrade and Charlotte Flair are engaged to be married. The happy couple confirmed the new year on social media just before the stroke of midnight. And Ric Flair says he's about to have a new son-in-law. He said, what a way to start 2020. Congratulations to my beautiful daughter and an awesome young man on their engagement. So happy, so proud. What a way to start 2020. I popped. Somebody put up a meme of those Conrad drawings where he's got the sweater on and whatnot. It was him and Andrade in like a Christmas photo together as brother-in-laws. That made me laugh. So yeah, man. We'll see. Wrestling weddings. Is this going to blow back on them?
What do you mean? Are they going to split them up on the shows and split the brands and do all that like they used to do? Yeah. I mean, that's always a
and he's got Selena Vega as his manager, and it's not that they've implied any relationship, but it seems like they're together, right? Like, even though they make it a work thing, she's a sexy manager, he's a hot Latin stud. They're together. They look like some ballroom dancing team, they could tear
That's
up.
Exactly what Vince thought.
Yeah. The cha-cha, yeah. And then, she's really with Aleister Black in real life. So, which is not the pairing you would really see in your mind of them together, right? You would see him more with a archetype tattooed type rock and roll chick. But obviously she's hot as hell too. So, but now are they going to really mess with their relationships because it messes with the archetypes of the characters they're trying to write? Because of how they're stooging themselves off on social media, which we talked about with Braun and possibly now with Sonya Deville with that stuff today.
Yeah, but they'd let it get to this point.
Sure.
Back when I was there, it would be like shut down immediately. Dude, I know we're going to get the Lars Sullivan thing, but I can't imagine. I thought the locker room was stressful when I was there before.
Yeah.
But man, this extracurricular bullshit, at least I had to worry about wrestling and bullies and stupid heat within the bubble. Mm-hmm. I didn't have to contend with the fact that like HR might be brought in if I turn around and say, I don't agree with that. I think that's keep that to yourself. You know what I mean? We're here to wrestle. Right. You can imagine somebody's probably got in trouble for that. And like an Arn, or maybe I'm not saying him, but hey, yeah, that's cool. Just get off the fucking phone. We're trying to go through a fucking, I'm trying to protect my brand. And here you are telling, dude, I can totally see that happening.
Yeah, I agree.
Where I'd be like, am I allowed to do an arm bar during this match? God, man. I don't know. What do you think what do you think like guys like, well, first of all, I always tell the story because I always pop when I see people on TV. When I was pulled aside and told, just as a little bit of a, hey, you're working hard. We know you are. Let's put it this way. You're too small to be Intercontinental Champion. So, like, that's why we don't do much with you, because of your lack of size. I'd be fucking choke slamming people through the fucking, through the ring. And, I'd be like more intimidating than Bray Wyatt in this generation. I don't mean go quite that far, but what I mean.
But yeah, dude. I mean, throw him under the bus. I mean, what even Steamboat?
6'2",
You've talked about the
25 as a shoot back then, and you're telling me that I'm too small. That's the era, though. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with this era or anything like that, but you look at a guy that, like me, even Val to an extent, who was 250 wasn't considered a giant back then.
Mm-hmm.
And he was 6'4", 6'5", 250. And he still never broke that fucking mid-card ceiling.
Yep.
That's the perception of real casual fans that look, they do not want to see somebody that looks just like them on TV. If that were the case, then football players would be just anybody. But football players, basketball players, baseball players, any type of athlete, we complain about their pay, but they can do something that the percentage is like maybe 1% of the population can do, maybe less, that well, that they can make those hundreds of millions of dollars.
Mm-hmm.
That's the difference that's changed. What are the two names that come up? I watched, I remember Rock and Austin. That's all. They don't even say Hogan much anymore. They I watched Hogan as a kid, Savage, Jake the Snake, and Rock and Austin. Those are the names that I think come up more than anybody's.
Mm-hmm.
I think people have forgotten about Cena because he's a movie actor now.
Yeah, and it didn't. That was a manufactured time too. Not that Cena wasn't a mega star, isn't, but like the magic was gone by that time. But when he came around, you know what I mean? The original magic. Cody Rhodes and more Arn Anderson news, a heavy Arn Anderson show. Cody Rhodes reportedly set to be managed by Arn AA by Justin Barrasso. Cody is set to introduce Arn as his on-screen personal advisor on Wednesday, highly anticipated AEW Dynamite Homecoming episode. I didn't see this segment, so I don't know if he did yet. I just haven't watched it yet in this one. So
I watched the show.
Did you?
Yeah. I mean, they tried their best, but man, kicking out of finishes like Darby Allin kicked out of his finish, the Crossroads deal.
Yeah.
First match of the show. They went long. I mean, they had a hell of a match, but it was like a pay-per-view match.
I watched first 5 minutes of the main event, and I had to stop, dude. I couldn't believe what I was seeing.
They ended the show with the senior VPs up, celebrating in the ring. A little bit of something with Paige, I think. But why are you leaving the end of the show in any kind of heat to kind of come back? It looked like what should have been the end of the year show.
Is that them selling for Cornette and others in the peanut gallery, going, they're putting themselves under to try and make these guys, and that's not right either. So now they're just jumping back to the other side to try and show themselves as strong. There was things in there, dude. I turned it off mainly because I didn't want to go to Twitter and undo the work we've been doing. You know what I mean? To try and build good faith. That's a shoot. Like, not that I can't control Twitter thumbs, but like as much as not deleting and unplugging it, but just not using it because, dude, since when do you, excuse me, man, my voice is going. Since when does anybody shoot somebody off and go off the ropes, hit them with a shoulder block, and that person doesn't take a bump? They just go back off the ropes, and then they slingshot back into you while you stand in the middle, and you do that. Is that any shoulder block you've ever been taught to do it like that or seen?
That's lucha.
That's unbelievable.
That's what they do in Mexico. Now, I wasn't even taught that ever. What I noticed and drives me nuts about all of wrestling is the fact that everybody stands in the middle and waits to be. It's day one wrestling school that you run into the guy to make it look like you're trying to knock him down.
Run through him.
You have more room to take a back bump, even if he's going to take your head off, because in the center, if somebody hits you, some guys run through you like a freight train. You'll hit the back of your neck on that friggin' rope. They'll knock you that far back.
Right.
So it's your job to run and take your own snapback.
You got to be throwing yourself forward as it comes, so you're going that way, and you level out so you can not be fucking juxed back there. Yeah.
Who does that on TV on any show right now? They wait for it.
Yeah. But that stuff of like lucha or not, dude, I was like, what is going on in there? It just did not seem natural.
What you said about that and what I seen with now Cody and Darby Allin, that was a match like, dude, you should have saved that for a pay-per-view because people would have paid to see that. Like, knowing if they knew what they were going to see, that's the chance. But the main event, watching it, it's like you guys have rehearsed this all day. Like that's a casual fan looking at it. You guys aren't fighting. You rehearsed this because now you have 6 guys. Everybody knows exactly where to be. They just happen to be there so they can get flipped. They get a hurricane so they can do this and that. That's the thing that I think disconnects a lot of people. You know what I would have done? Reversed those matches and made that 6-man first, Darby Allin, Cody last.
I agree.
Because that was a hell of a match. It made Darby Allin.
Okay.
And Cody got over in the end. And he was selling afterwards. So you leave him kind of at the end. You know, I mean, that's one of the guys who own the company or run the company, but still, I'd rather have seen that at the end. And maybe MJF jumps him at the end and puts heat on his arm.
Where Warlow gets him and MJF's just talking shit. I watched that Dustin thing where the ref jumps in to stop him from doing the Shattered Dreams kick on the nuts, where he's got him in the corner on Guevara. And I'm like, what? And because I get what they're doing with having Hager come in and do the nuts based off the Bellator thing. But, dude, people are like, oh, you just can't kick a guy in the nuts. He's not. He's kicking the bottom turnbuckle. That's been a spot forever. That was a terrible spot to have the ref come in. Now the heat's on the ref. Everyone's going like, what the fuck? We've been used to this for 20 years. Why would you stop this now just to get the turnaround to do that? You could have done that turnaround 50 different ways. I did love the way they responded to the criticism of the picture-in-picture by having Sammy do the fucking signs. You know, they could have had something cooler and more controversial on some of them, but in like heat of like, I'm on TV and I'm only 21. What have you ever done with your life? Nothing, you know, things like that. And just have a bunch that are just insults until they come back instead of just some cheap promotion. But like, dude, there was some, again, I that's why I didn't go to Twitter. I was just like, I'm not going to undo what I want for these guys success-wise when we may be on the cusp of being able to help them by just getting some retweets based on being like, here's where I don't agree with some things.
Well, the thing with that, you could have, once again, if you have agents or somebody talking it over, before Dustin even takes the charge to do the kick, you stop him and warn him because you know what he's about to do.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be stupid, and take it away from the people.
Right.
Stop him before he even does it. Then go back and take Sammy out of the corner, and then the nut shot happens.
Right.
Like we can't have that anymore. That's different than he's running, and you're like, oh, wait a minute, I've never seen this before. The ref looks stupid. Sammy Guevara, though, they got something with him too. He hadn't taken a bump up until the match, and he was getting over, going through the crowd, talking, doing his whole thing, letting him kind of have a little fun with it. I liked what they did with Guevara.
Mm-hmm.
But everything else, dude, I don't know. I don't know. What are the ratings? We don't have the ratings yet.
No, I don't think so. Here's something we do have, Stevie. I'll switch camera mode here real quick.
What's that?
Oops.
Oh God, are you not, dude? Please don't.
No,
is that a fucking video that you're playing?
Yeah, but they don't do anything. I promise. What am I doing? I can't go left or right. It's opposite.
The T-shirt is such predictive programming.
I know.
Look at what is it supposed to be?
What the fuck?
Now is it
it's
his
like
voice?
It's like their audition. Whoops. Hold on.
Is that the guy from the wedding on the right?
Mitch and Derek.
Mitch, this is your first time getting a blowjob from a guy, huh? It is, yeah.
It's your first time getting a BJ from a guy.
What do you think so far? Well, I'm having a great time so far, so we'll see what happens. Uh-oh. What do you think about Mitch, Derek? He's hot.
And it goes on if you want to.
Is that Vince's bedroom from Master Chief? Come on, pal.
Yeah, pal. Dude, that's like the intro scene before he gets a BJ from that guy. Heard there was an emergency meeting called. Vince, triple game, done. Who knows who else? Lawyers, I'm sure, of what they can do and what they can't do to keep this guy off, dude. Like,
do you think they did a watch along?
I'm sure they probably checked it all out. They had to see everything that's going to be released. You know, we can make all the ribs that we want of this guy's looked like a fucking absolute killer and destroyer, and they did the promos with him and the EC3 ones that never worked out. Like, those promos were the most damning things that have ever been made to ruin guys' careers, apparently. But, you know, then he supposedly has some mental breakdown backstage that seems kind of weird and not, you know, the true story to get him off the road. Now this is happening 2-3 weeks before, you know, he's supposed to re-debut. Closet homosexual self-loathing aside with the bodybuilding.com stuff that plagued him early on, and him talking about the Bucks and Stephanie and Punk and a bunch of Mark shit, and the closet cry for help that gay bashing on bodybuilding.com really is.
Explain that though. Explain the self-loathing thing, because I don't.
Okay,
Quite,
so
obviously I don't understand it because I don't.
If you're talking about being
like the mental makeup of somebody, I know politicians have done it too. The makeup that somebody's going to project that kind of what they are.
What happens to every preacher that's so super anti-gay?
They turn out to be gay.
They turn out sucking cocks and love it in a fucking airport bathroom or wherever, right? This is the same thing. This is especially on bodybuilding.com. You're so testosterone based. I have to be so vain, and which is a gay thing too as well. But like, and because I have so much muscles, I gotta like pussy. I gotta do it. Like, I can't let anybody think I'm soft. And that's why I'll go out of my way to say fuck queers or whatever in these, you know, forums and look like that. But the reality is he's probably been knowing that he wants to be out of the closet for years since he was a young teen or what have you, even maybe earlier than that, but just can't do it. So the bashing is that. And I think if they see other people doing that, that's almost a signal of like, I'm the same way you are. And like, they don't want to accept that they have homosexual tendencies or are bi or even gay, where someone who is small, effeminate, and grew up that way, it's a lot, not easier for them. I don't want to say easier, but like, it's just more accepted by society of like, oh, look at that guy he's less macho, more of a fairy, right? That 80s nerd standard, where in 2019, it's not like that, but this guy isn't 2019. He's Generation X, like me and you. And that still holds some like, no way, dude, I'm not gay, you're gay. Like some bro shit that way. So that's really the self-loathing mentality. And that goes along with some hardcore Republicans, some Southerners, you know what I mean? Absolutely. If you watch Shameless, they kind of cover it well with even South Side Chicago white trash families of like, no son of mine's gay, and then they go to jail, and of course you're gonna they are. So that it just shows in every level of like, some people are going to be able to be all right with it, and then some people it's going to be their end all of who they are. And this seems to be where he's at now with it, dude. But my point is, you know, after clarifying this, I think there's blackmail going on. I think somebody wanted to get paid. They didn't. And this is why this is dropping. I think it's why it happened last time and why there's a big meeting, not just for PR purposes, but so somebody knows, somebody knew something, and somebody either was getting paid off, wanted to, and didn't, or it just became time, because the timing of this shit is just too right on time.
Yeah, that's the shameful part of it. But I say, hopefully during that meeting, instead of running away from all this, much like they do with a lot of people that they have on the roster, why not tell the story? You don't think people will tune in for that?
No way could they do it. No way could they handle it.
Then just let them tell a story. Let them tell what happened. Let him do a sit-down interview. If he's being blackmailed, if he's gay, or all these things, you don't think people would watch that?
Oh, they would.
If you're talking about just the meat of like, you're just trying to get ratings, you know what I mean? If you're doing it for the worst reasons ever, Let him tell a story.
This is your Jey Uso spot on backstage. This is the sit down. You pump it all through Raw, and you got to watch you got to watch backstage. We're gonna have a special 3-part interview over the next 3 weeks. Lars Sullivan broke it down into 3 5-minute segs that are very hard hitting, and you button end with the next part's gonna be the gay thing, and then what goes on forward. But what do you do with a guy who's supposed to be the mauler? Now he's like going to come back and just run over guys after doing a big gay porn exchange. I don't know where you go, but at least you get some value out of him. I totally got to agree with your situation there. Instead of going, no, we just can't have this, especially if we're trying to do all this lesbian stuff and they're hot about it. That's why I said my 2020 vision, pal. Yeah, it's going to be all gay all day.
What they're looking at too is what they're looking at in the stupidest way possible. We already have a gay angle on TV. Why do we? No, this isn't. You can have more than one person do this. You know what I mean?
Sure.
That's their mentality. Also, they were hoping for a young, like buff, like good-looking metrosexual Finn Balor to be the gay guy.
Yeah. No.
I mean, that's what they wanted. Something that still girls would tune in to watch this guy, like a gal pal type thing.
Absolutely.
Not the
queer eye for the straight guy. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. They wanted something more aesthetic. And maybe that's why Balor actually got pushed, because he just, like, at the end, he's like, this isn't what I want to do.
No, what'll happen is him and Lars will end up in a first male gay wedding that'll actually take place, aside from Billy and Chuck that were actually, I'm not going to say that about Finn. I don't know. But I know that this guy just got blown on camera by a guy named Derek. So.
It does look like the guy who came into the wedding and interrupted. that's what I'm saying. I don't know, man. And that's the thing. Did they bring anybody into the meeting that has any experience dealing with this kind of PR stuff? Or is this, again, people? I hope so.
Unless it was just a watch along for their own.
No, do you think that, all right.
I'll make the popcorn.
Maybe Hunter was like, maybe we should get somebody in, but Vince was like, God damn it, I know what I'm doing. You know what I mean? Vince. You can't tell Vince, hey, you have no idea about this. We need to bring in an expert. And he's like, come on, man. Right now, can you kind of see how that can go?
Sure. Yeah. It's definitely a rough week with that. And this with XFL lawsuit update. Bloomberg Law is reporting that the Oklahoma Firefighters Pension Retirement System filed lawsuit against WWE in regards to the company's focusing resources on Vince McMahon's Alpha Entertainment LLC, the parent company for the forthcoming XFL. The suit alleges that Vince McMahon and other senior officials have not been keeping up with their duties to WWE. As reported earlier in Forbes, stockholders allege Vince McMahon, quote, engages in transactions that are in conflict with WWE's interests, end quote. The suit intends to investigate the pricing on the various rights and IP in relation to the resurrection of the formerly defunct league. The XFL is set to relaunch in February of 2020. Wow, dude. February. We're less than 6 weeks away, and we don't know shit about shit.
We don't even know who the players are in the league yet. We don't know if they have full rosters. But that's the least of his worries, because once again, we just came off a story where Vince is saying nobody can tell me that I don't know what I'm doing, or I'm Vince McMahon. He could literally, you made a joke about in the Master Sheet Theater. They only own under $7,000 in stock. Fuck them. My stocks are different. That could be a very real thing. Like,
it is a very real thing.
Very real thing. When he doesn't realize the history of a person like Al Capone, who wasn't taken down, like you said, for the murder, the racketeering, any of the stuff. It was like a line on an accounting notebook. It was tax evasion.
Mm-hmm.
Could have been $100.
Mm-hmm.
He still went to prison.
Yep. The books. And
if you're taking money from somebody, and especially if you're trying to fool Wall Street and take some money from them that they don't get, I don't know, man. I'm not saying they're choir boys or anything, but
no,
it's a mafia thing. Hey, you're not giving us our money. Shit, we're going to take you down.
Yeah, man.
But I like your theory that it has to be the good old little firefighters retirement fund from the Midwest, and the timing's too suspect.
Unfuckwithable, right? Somebody's got these
It
agendas.
should have been knitting grandma's retirement fund would have been even like
Yeah,
perfect,
right.
more perfect.
The Red Hat Club, those like all retired widows that get together and shit. Go to bingo, put their bingo money in it. Good times.
But didn't we say that we were going to buy like one stock or buy something to get on the call and ask questions? Maybe it only once, but is this going to open up the floodgate for other people with minority stockholder shares and turn around and go, yeah, I want to know what's going on too. Yeah, I want to know what's going on too. And like the Me Too movement of the the SEC is going to happen.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, where's my money going? This could be the thing to bring me. Maybe the XFL never starts up and Vince just wasted $300 million.
Are they even practicing? We said teams, dude, shouldn't this be the time of like, it's week 1 of practice and preseason this week as we kick off the NFL, and here's your 6 weeks to the look of the kickoff, right? They should be having all this shit done.
I think it's dumb that they're doing it in February because what is it? We just did a podcast for the playoffs and the Super Bowl. You're starting right after the Super Bowl. I would have done March where February is the hype. And then you finish the season right before preseason starts.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense, dude, because there's no way that ESPN or Fox are going to – they're in bed with – that's the thing. Fox has not covered the XFL at all. I think they're staying by that thing of we have a deal with WWE. We can't talk about XFL.
No. It's interesting because, and I haven't talked to him. He's an associate, personal associate of mine from even way before wrestling. Sometimes we have heat, sometimes we don't. Whatever. I'm not going to dox him. But he worked for the Eagles. He helped produce a lot of their stuff during their championship stuff. Won 3 Emmys. WWE hired him. And from my tiny hometown, just outside of Riyadh. Like a lot of people are like, "Did you hear he got hired?" But instead of me being the performer, like to try and New York dig me, and I'm happy for him. But I hope that right now he's doing that. I didn't see him over the holidays. I hope he's producing all that stuff for them, because if they hired a top NFL guy specifically because they're so hungry to get an Emmy and they're not using him to his full potential right now, again, more stupidity in my opinion. I hope they are. I haven't talked to him, so I don't know.
He's making pancakes for New Day right now.
Get him, Dooley. Last story, Stevie. I got rid of one. Jim Cornette won his lawsuit against the Indies with the clownette shirt and all that shit, whatever.
It's very odd that he's publicly threatened Russo and other people and said he would kill them if he saw them and stuff like that. And now it's very weird.
I don't want to.
Isn't he selling the shirt on his store as well?
Why wouldn't you want to make money, dude? That's what I'm saying.
Well, he's selling it on his store and giving a portion to charity.
Oh, is he? And that may have been in the copy. I don't know.
No, but he's still suing this kid.
That it was absolved. Like the lawsuit's done now. He had him take it down and trademark and all that kind of shit. So, okay. But not important to me. I think about the Cornette stuff because pretty much all I listen to is our shit, Russo, Conan, and Cornette, right? And we're all pretty much saying the same thing in our own way most of the time. Or somebody has a good idea, I'm like, I like that. Or I'm like, no. But here I am, OVW trained, Rip and Danny missed Cornette, but it's really the same thing as Cornette 100% in my basis now with Russo. Like, where do I cross over to? Because I'd like to sit down with Cornette, but I'm not going to, hurt Russo on his side if there's an issue with that way of like, am I the one? Am I the chosen one? It's me, Stevie. No, am I the one that is the bridge in between to be able to end this fucking foolishness? Neither of them will bend fully, but at least let's take it down a notch, man. If we're all really talking the same thing, just somebody does it with a different accent and says bro, or somebody does some fucking stupid, it's like a kernel rolling down a sewer pipe. That's how big it is. Like, oh, these fucking throwbacks that nobody knows from 1950 and shit. Like, am I the guy in the middle that is just, to be like, dude, let me have a sit down with you. Let's talk for real. And not to like have them sit down, but like, enough's enough with this, and not to moderate, but let's make this bridge if we can, you know?
I don't know, man. I've always guessed if I came across Cornette at convention that he would just be waiting to say something, or he just wouldn't talk to me because this is high school shit. Because you're friends with this guy, I'm not gonna talk to you or any of that.
Well, that's
stuff.
what I feel like where I am, because what's he going to say that to me? Because we ride right with Russo. I'll be like, bro, I'm a fucking Rip guy, and I'll call you a fat cocksucker too right now if I need to, Cornette. Like, so how's he going to hate on me if I'm definitely a Rip and Danny guy and I ride with Russo? That's where I feel like.
Because he just will.
Right.
I have no reason other than the fact that this is Cornette's identity, though. Right now, Cornette, I mean, as much as he hates it, people listen to him, and he makes money by burying Russo, by being his mortal enemy to one degree or another. And maybe Russo, to some extent, can profit from the fact that he doesn't go out and be anti-Cornette, but he's on the flip side of that.
Could you imagine that as the groundwork of the first step in the temple to be built of the Russo Cornette summit, where it is a real sit down, though? Like, you know, am I the pebble in the pond is what I think.
I believe in you. I'm not saying you can't do it.
I hear what you're saying always, man. You're not going to can't teach an old dog new tricks sometimes.
Now, here's the thing. And we're boys with Russo. I mean, he's obviously said he would sit down and he wants to end this fucking whatever you call it. But he's also knowing that no matter what he says, that Cornette will say no. So he also, as much as he probably means it, he's like, I'm just throwing it out there, and I just want to say it, but I know it's going to go nowhere. It's just what it is.
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying? No, like
I think there's.
If I know somebody's going to hate me no matter what I do, I'm probably going to babyface them because I'm only going to make it worse. And I don't want the stress of it. And I know Russo doesn't want the stress of it.
And there's one thing I learned. Some people will even say this to me because when I got Rip, it was right at the end of like when he was super hardcore, like all the Lita stuff and all that, you know, like the real hard, like you guys get Rip. He's softer than he was because they broke him down that way. And I'm thinking as Rip gets older, he does get sweeter, even compared to when I had him. You know what I mean? Like I've seen it, which I like. Maybe Cornette's getting that edge worn off him as an older man who wants to, dude, let me let go of some of this anger in my later days. I hope as a man on this planet that we all kind of get to that. And maybe this is the time. And I just feel that in the universe of like, maybe this is my place to do it. And one of the great things that's not told in most stories, it's usually told in a sequel, is heel. Even both of them see each other as heels on each other. But if Cornette's the bigger heel because he wants to be, and that's where he, you know, makes his persona, the repentance of a heel in becoming the hero is a great fucking story. And not a lot of people get to tell that and to do the apology and realign and show unification. Maybe that's something that we could manage to. Just something I think about sometimes. Disco says Russo and company are both too set in their ways. Yeah, well, when you got Big Hacker fucking standing over you, we'll see how set in your ways you really are when I'm breathing down your throat, pal. CM Punk, our last one here, last story of the day, Stevie. CM Punk reveals what he wants wrestlers to leave behind this decade. WWE backstage analyst CM Punk was commentating on several moments that happened during Raw last night, revealing something that he wants to be left behind. Punk was also commenting the opening segment and the pull-apart brawl between Samoa Joe and Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins and AOP. The moment in particular when KO hit the dive from the top turnbuckle onto a bunch of security and wrestlers on the floor who were waiting for the moment. Punk stated that he wants wrestling to stop having a giant group looking around to catch someone, asking wrestlers to leave that in this decade. He says, quote, at player coach, which I'm blocked by, at CM Punk, can we stop with a giant group of people standing around looking to catch someone while someone jumps on them? Leave that shit in this decade. Dare ya. And shows the retweet of the WWE Universe where Owens does the dives. And that is your first wrestling news of 2020, Stevie.
So I guess there wasn't the Blackhawks. The Blackhawks weren't playing that night.
Yeah.
He usually tweets about them.
Right. Right.
They probably said, "Here's an extra 200 grand if you watch an episode of Raw." That would do it for me. I am 200. You know, I do it for a lot less right now, but I do it for that.
Mm-hmm.
That's our first and of 51 more.
51 more to get through till 2021. What's going to happen? How much heat will rain down? Any big ones from 20? What was your favorite one from 2019? Biggest stories of 2019 that stick out to you after everything we had to cover, man?
God, I can't even remember.
I got to go ACH burning all bridges was pretty hardcore.
Like,
I got to go
already.
I got to go Saudi,
hell yeah, international incident that got swept under the rug was probably the story of the year. Yeah. The story that we thought was a bigger story than nobody else cared for because it passed right through.
Part 2 coming, right? Because when they go back, who's going to go? This is like, it's not over with yet.
You're right.
So
and is Saudi going to hold them up for it? They paid them now, so it's kind of like they're kind of evened out, right? They don't owe them any money.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, Vince threw the temper tantrum, all that. I mean, forget about the boys and the flights and the bullshit, but like when it's all about the money and Vince is getting it on with Ben Solomon backstage, like, motherfucker, you owe me for the last show, you owe me for this one, and it's $300 million, and to Vince that's the slap in the face, but real money. But to fucking Saudi's like $300 million, bro. Calm the fuck down. You know what I mean?
I left my wallet back. I'll get it for you in a second.
So,
but dude, seriously, like, the Saudis, maybe they feel insulted and they got something in their back pocket. Yeah, come on back.
Yeah,
we'll to do this. And this is why it is the story. It might be the story of the entire decade. Vince, so many things should have happened that we talked about just from leaving people on the tarmac for hours and hours, and then they went back to the room and then cutting their social media off, not knowing if they're alive or dead, not knowing if anything happened, taking a select few out of Saudi because we really need these people. You're fucking whatever. We got 20 more of them at NXT. You know, whoever's on the plane, you could all fucking die. For those people to go and work right after that happened and not sit there and go, wait a minute, we need, we need to lay some ground rules, or we need to unionize, or we need some kind of fucking rights, because we just almost got killed back there. I don't care what anybody says. Left us on a foreign land, and they pretty much told us, you cannot leave. That's being held hostage. And they went back to work like nothing ever happened. And now we have to remind people that this fucking happened like a month or so ago. Yeah, that's pretty bad.
And even guys like, not that Harper didn't want to leave, but he shows that he posts one thing, happy to be home right after the nightmare shit, and gone. Like there's plenty that could be related to that, of them wanting to cover it up PR wise on both sides. And who's gonna go back for real? Like, who's really gonna bite the bullet? Is gonna take more money. Now, will
Luke Harper or somebody down the line, after they're released, like Arn is pretty much telling the truth.
Oh, it's coming. It's coming in March. The people the other day online were like, 2CW reunion, and on his personal account he puts what's going on in March, like just to pop all the marks, because that's when he can open his mouth and people are ready to rock and roll. I talked to Ascension. They want to shoot, but like they can't, they're not going to fuck with their 90 days of pay. I can't blame them. But so if I get the shoot from them, it's going to be fairly nostalgic throwback, not of anything that he's seen, going on backstage that I've mentioned before. And I keep our sources close to protect them. We don't want to fuck them up in their push or their money by any means. But once that March stuff hits, dude, I can't wait to hear Harper's whole fucking take on that Saudi Arabia shot, dude.
He might have signed an NDA. It might have been part of his release. They will do anything they can to keep people's mouths shut.
From what I've been told from other guys are ready to fucking go shoot bang bang on platforms like us as soon as their 90s are up.
We'll be here, hopefully.
Oh, man. Maybe 51 weeks to get through. So we'll see which way things go, man. But it's Not the worst locker room to start off 2020. Interesting news. Going to be a crazy week. We'll see if Lars Sullivan is future endeavored. We'll see who else comes out of the closet this week, lesbian-wise. Maybe that'll be the new thing. Everyone starts identifying as lesbians to get a push in WWE.
Let me make a quick point about that. I said in the messenger, just to leave it with that. If they fire Lars Sullivan and they kept Paige, what message does that send as well?
Paige didn't do it for the money. She just did it for the love.
Fair enough.
I always have a 2-camera shoot whenever
Got him, pal.
Got him again, pal. Yeah, it's all for the love of the Monday. But yeah, man, appreciate you guys checking out all the shows here. hackerhamin.podbean.com. I'm sure I may be back on. I don't know. I got a lot of work to do with Silvio and Matt Schaffer here for AEW. I haven't really watched the show, so I don't want to eat up time when they can build their bond and do that. Obviously, Colin Wysong and Big Ray back with the Impact Attack on Saturdays. I'm not sure if I have to cut up this NFO podcast or not, so I may be doing that this afternoon, along with Conspiracy Horsemen dropping tomorrow with the Friday Locker Room. So appreciate you guys. Plenty to listen to all weekend long here at hackerhamin.podbean.com, hackerhamin on your iTunes. If you're searching that way and can hook us up with the 5 stars, I like that. Right in Meltzer's face all the time. And who knows, maybe I'll make the PWI 1000 this year. Really don't give a fuck either way, to be honest with you. But I do care about ProWrestlingTees.com/BenHamin/Stevie Richards, and you guys being able to save 20% for the first 5 days here in January. So get your t-shirts this weekend, save 20%. It's going to help us out, help support the platform and everything we're trying to do to push forward, you guys. And obviously we've got the best shirts going. I can't wait for the new release of Big Sal, the Horror Junkyard shirt by Eric Kent. Another awesome poster shirt, you guys. It's just kick-ass how many of you guys are dedicating your time, art, and effort to helping us out here at Hamin Media Group, pushing things forward as we trying to get bigger, better guests, and, like I said, make that nuclear explosion of free media, independent media, to get out to the people who are looking for something a lot better and deserve better out there. And the best will always find each other, just like Stevie Richards and here at Hamin Media. I'm so happy to have him be a big part of it, man. And we wouldn't be here without his name, his effort, and his career backing us, dude. So thank you, man. And where can we support and back you? What are your efforts?
Imagine if you had somebody who's big enough to be Intercontinental Champion, how many subscribers and downloads you have.
I know. I'm trying. I'm getting there. As soon as I find somebody, I'll replace you with him.
Oh, you do it. I'd be sad, but there'd be part of me. I feel like, okay, no more wrestling. It's SteveRichardsFitness.com. Please go there. 12 and 16-week resistance band training programs. I'm still working on making an easy comparison to them so people know the difference. Essentially, the 12-week is for beginners, people resetting their fitness journey, people that might have injuries to rehab or recover from. 16-week is a little bit more challenging. Obviously, 4 more weeks, separated in 4 phases. In case you didn't know that. And also, we have videos too, follow-along videos, like the full body workout video. If you don't have 5 days a week, that's a 3-time-a-week workout. And once again, if you lose your PDF or your download or expires, something happens, you can always email me, SteveRichardsFitness@gmail.com, and I will resend your purchase download link. No problems, no questions asked.
It's value.
Did you buy my fucking program? That's the only question I ask. Other than that, go to the YouTube channel. It's growing steady, over 50,000 subscribers. Just dropped the NFL podcast, Hitting the Playoffs with Jargo. That's going to be a special series until the Super Bowl. And also Steve Richards podcast, episode 20 for 2020, coming this Sunday.
Awesome.
And of course, all this month will be fitness, wellness, longevity, nutrition, reviews, and information all month long on the YouTube channel.
You guys go listen to that Stevie Richards broadcast episode 19 with Donovan. Just an awesome, awesome episode. Some of Stevie's best hosting, best work. I was, just really captivated by the conversation. And like I say, both guys really in the moment with honest talk that you're only really going to get here, unfortunately, not fortunately and unfortunately at Hamin Media, because I wish other guys would be able to break their walls down to do that. I think Jericho is a great interview in that way and can do that. Sometimes he has to lay out for his own political purposes. But we're getting off the disco list, infidels, because it's the Hamin no-fly list. Take your kazoo and your who and stick it where? Morons, it's hackerhamin.podbean.com. Heels over strong all day long. YOLO.